Okay, so Ben, do you play a lot of games? Are you into games?
I love games. Time to play them is the hard part, but yeah, I'm less into driving. But saying I worked a little bit on the Need for Speed game, and on both sides of that. So we did a launch. We had Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and we we're just doing crazy things around the track. And the game is sort of similar, but even more wild. So you're chasing around the streets, and that's it's good fun.
Have you played a lot of racing games this year, or is Need for Speed the only one you've played?
To be honest, I haven't really, and I quite like them. And weirdly, I was into the PC games of driving, like the Formula 1 games, which probably makes me sound really dull.
Oh no, but they're big.
Yeah, and I was really into those because they were very much. They felt more accurate. But I think there'll come a time very soon when, because we use simulators now in racing, where we sit there with screens and so on. They're incredibly expensive, and they're so accurately mapped to the tracks that the teams use them to set the cars up before we go to the racetrack. So I think there'll come a day when the two will really merge, and the gamers will be getting as real an experience as we get in the car. Because when we're in the simulators, you sweat, you crash, it all feels real, and you get really, you're totally immersed in it. It's like the real thing.
What's interesting is there are actually two games out there right now that use the Top Gear track, Forza 3 and Gran Turismo 5. How do you think you'd fare around one of those?
I'd be the fastest.
Definitely.
Of course, but obviously with a bit of practice, I don't know. It's a bold statement because I don't doubt the talent of full-time gamers, but it'd be interesting. That's assuming that the track is accurate, of course.
Well, I've raced the minibus around it a couple of times. And I've avidly watched the show, so I think I've kind of learned it scene for scene.
I'll be the judge of that. It'll be fun. I've not played them, so but there's a lot of nuances with Dunsfold. A lot of places where you leave the track to go faster. It's faster off the tarmac than on it. So whether that's built into the game, I don't know.
Could you see yourself being involved in future Need for Speed titles?
I hope so. I love working with EA Sports, and I met Criterion, and they had some very interesting things in the pipeline that I would love to work on. So we'll see.
Oh, well,